Hey, you want to know 3 ways to improve your videography or photography? Yeah, you do. Come on, ride with me and I'll tell you how. Three ways to really help you improve your photography and your videography. Now, the first one is going to seem kind of simple. The first tip is really just to take a lot of pictures, shoot a lot of videos. Now, you say, duh, that sounds, who didn't know that? Well, the thing is, we know it, but sometimes we just don't do it because we're afraid to make mistakes. We're afraid to make garbage. We're afraid that somebody's going to see us doing this and they're going to want to see the pictures, or they're going to ask to use the pictures, or have access to the pictures. That's not the time for that. Just let them know that, hey, at this point in time, all I'm doing right now is really testing my equipment. Blame it on the equipment. You don't have to blame it on yourself. Blame it on your equipment. You have to practice what you're doing. It's that simple. Older I get, the more I realize you have to put forth an effort to do anything and everything. Anything that you want to be successful, or anything that you want to go in the positive, or not even just the positive perspective, or anything that you want to go in the direction that you want it to go into, you have to put forth some type of effort. Just like when you were in school, be it college, high school, middle school, playing sports or in the band, you still have to put forth an effort. Things don't always come easy. Some things come easier than others. Some things don't feel like work. I get it. But sometimes it does feel like work. And it is work. You have to put in that work. You have to grind. Going to the gym. Don't want to do it, but you want the results of going to the gym. You want the weight loss. You're going to have to go to the gym. You're going to have to actually push that door open, or pull that door open. You're going to have to push back from that plate of food that you want, and eat some of the things that's more healthier for you to obtain your goal. Pick up that camera, man. Pick up that phone, whatever you're using to make your content, be it pictures or videos. Pick it up and shoot something. So yeah, it was a good workout. Training, practicing goes hand in hand, regardless if it's photography or if it's working out, videography, painting, drawing, whatever you're doing. Put in the work. Shoot more content. Okay, secondly, let's consider making mistakes. Okay, that might be a little too dramatic, but what I'm saying is step out your comfort zone. Try different things. If you are a natural photographer, meaning you only use natural lights, try using a flash or a strobe or some type of ambient lighting that you are controlling, that you are putting on the person's face or the object the way that you want it to highlight it. The key here is to make the mistake, spot the mistake, and reverse engineer how to correct the mistake. Now, you may have to get a little help to do that, but in time you will be able to correct that mistake. Now, to do so, you have to know what you like. I might like a picture that has, a dark, moody experience, but you may like one that's more vibrant. The colors are lighter, not so strong shadows or whatever. Neither one is right or wrong. What makes it right or wrong is the person that's looking at it, or if you have a client that wants a particular look, you want to know how to accomplish that, even though that may not be the style that you like, and that's all right. What you don't want to do is you don't want to make the same mistakes over and over and over. You want to learn from those mistakes. I had a client that wanted me to take some pictures for an event that she was having. And the funny part about it was, I did the event and I thought it was going nicely until I got home to look at the pictures. The problem was the lights were all over the place. Some of the lights in this facility were warm colors, some of them were more of a cool color, all fluorescent. And in one area of the facility, there was a flickering light. You really couldn't tell it when you were there. Well, at least I wasn't able to tell it. After I started looking at the pictures, and I was like, why is this picture so, banded across? And I noticed that, I remember that it was something odd about that area. And it wasn't until I had a chance to go back to that venue, that same light ballast was messed up. So just because it's in a facility, that doesn't mean that the facility is, well maintained or whatever the case may be. But what that did help me to do was to start paying more attention to the lighting scenario or the situation. Now I'll go in more likely to see, oh man, these colored lights, and not necessarily looking at the bulb itself, but the tone that it casts on the wall. Especially if they're two different colors, you'll get a chance to see or notice that, hey, that wall may have the same paint color, but why is that one more of a greenish tint and this one is more of a grayish blue tint, whatever? And maybe because of the lights that's above it, which is going to reflect on human skin color, which is going to affect the color of white. And now you're gonna have to figure out how to balance all that. Now, I'm not saying that I have everything under control now. I've mastered everything, because I haven't. I'm still making mistakes. I'm still making mistakes on communications with clients. I'm still making mistakes with how I'm charging. And as I'm learning those things, I'm not making the same mistakes. I'm tired of making mistakes, but it's all a growth process. So give yourself a little grace while you grow. Nothing's gonna be perfect. You have your ups and downs, but make mistakes. The key is, again, learn from those mistakes. Number 3, find a community that you can work with. Now that could be on Facebook, that could be up here on this video, which I am trying to build a community that can help you and help me as well. The better community, See, thirdly, find a community that you can learn from, but not only learn from, one that you can have input and help in. There's always something that you know that someone else don't know. For instance, you may want to take a picture of someone, a portrait or a headshot, and you may think you can go with a 70-200, a 24-70, which you could at the longer end pull back and crop in, or you can just go with a 70-200 or 85 millimeter lens, which has better compression, doesn't distort the human's face or the body parts. For instance, I'm shooting on a 16 millimeter lens now on an APC crop sensor camera. So if I was to take my hand and go to the edge, you may see that there's a little distortion in how big my hand is or my body part as it goes from across the screen from one side to the other side. You may not want that in a portrait because it's going to give just a funny look. It may be all right while I'm sitting here talking to you, or if you take a picture where I'm further back, but to fill the frame with my face, I will have to come closer. And that's just not a good look. Plus, the camera is like this far away from my nose. You get suggestions like, hey, at the very minimum, if you can, use an 85 or anywhere between 85 to 105. You can use a 50 millimeter for a headshot that will go about half of the body height, if that makes sense. It's more of a tip than a rule. But despite that, just try to stay teachable. You're always going to learn something. There's always something new. Someone else is going to discover something and they're going to share it eventually, or someone's going to be able to reverse engineer it and figure out what it is that they did or something similar to get that same effect. And you may want to learn to incorporate that into your portfolio. So stay teachable.